Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. This weekend was a jam-packed weekend here at Cleveland as Delta State not only hosts two soccer doubleheaders but hosted a football game as well. In football, we defeated the 10th-ranked West Alabama Tigers 21-6. So without further ado, let's bring up head coach Todd Cooley.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Obviously, a really good result for us. Thought our kids played hard. That's a really good football team we were able to defeat. West Alabama's very worthy of their ranking. I just thought it was a really good Go South football game. I think our defense played phenomenal, holding that bunch to 6 points. We didn't move the ball like we want to in the second half. West Alabama's got a really good defense as well, and I just thought it was a physical, hard-fought game. I think our young men stuck together. I thought the energy on the sideline was great. I was proud of how we performed, and I was proud to finish the game and get a win. And can't say enough about the defensive effort. Those guys in the fourth quarter played really well. We've got obviously a lot to clean up, but no rest for us as we head to North Greenville this week. Really good football team who just beat Erskine last week and nearly beat Valdosta the week before. Always a tough place to play. Our last two road games have not gone the way that we would like, so it's a big ball game for us. And we started this morning with that message in our meetings, and they do a lot of things offensively. Really good quarterback, a lot of good skill guys, give you tons of looks, unbalanced motions, formations. They know how to throw it, know how to catch it. They can run it. They got a freshman running back. He's listed as a wide receiver, but I think he's up there near the conference leaders in yards per game. Really dangerous. Defensively, they play out of three-man front, but they get in four-man fronts. They do a really good job disguising coverages. They're big, which, West Alabama was big as well, so we should be used to that by now. 3 weeks in a row of just facing big teams. So anyway, we got a lot of work to do, but very excited and was glad we could get the win at home. And biggest game of the year is this week, and that's what we got to focus on. So with that being said, I'll answer any questions.
During the course of that game, of course, even though the score was 21-6, it was obviously much closer than that. Particularly in the fourth quarter, they were in y'all's 10-yard line, 4 twice, 7 twice in the fourth quarter. Y'all turned them back. Just talk about just the overall guts the guys showed on defense.
I just thought they played hard. I mean, they just kept playing. Maybe it was just our night, to keep them out, but unbelievable effort. It started with the great week of preparation, and I think they answered the call. They didn't get negative. They didn't point fingers. They just stayed together, kept playing, and knocked the ball away when they needed to, and made the plays they had to do. And we feel like we've got a good defense, and they proved that Saturday night.
In the third quarter, y'all were able to, when they had the ball their first two possessions, y'all were able to get the fumble recovery and an interception. How much did that set the tone really for the rest of the half?
Well, I mean, we didn't do anything with it offensively, but I think it probably gave our defense a little confidence, they just kept stopping drives, So I don't know. I think stuff gets contagious after a while, and we were able to keep them out. You just great efforts. I mean, overall, guys played hard. We were injured, coming into the game with a few bangs and bruises, just like everybody would be at this time of the season. But now we're even worse because West Alabama's extremely physical, and we just next man up mentality. Just played through it, and guys just found a way to win. I think it was good. It was at home. I think our crowd got into it in the fourth quarter, and that was good. And they kind of fed off that energy and just fed off the energy on the sideline. I can't say enough about our sideline. That's the most engaged our sideline has been all year. The guys that didn't dress out did an excellent job on the sideline of keeping the energy going and being positive, and it was a fun night.
In the first half, of course, offensively in the first half, y'all were able to get a few more first downs at a better rate than y'all were the week before. Cole Kirk completed a couple of big passes. Just talk about some of those plays, because it seemed like he was able to make a few plays in the first half.
Yeah, well, I told him today in the meeting, I felt like for about 6 to 8 minutes of game time there he was playing as well as he's played all year, and that's what we want to be. We were going fast, we were moving the ball, we were hitting some big plays, guys were getting open, we were protecting him, and we played pretty well there for a little stretch, and that was good because we were able to cash it in with a couple touchdowns, which we needed to. Points are at a premium this time of year, especially when you're playing that defense. So, we just got to get more consistent when it comes to that. We've got to do a better job. I got to do a better job of finding things that are there, and we just got to do a better job overall execution of things that we call.
Toward the end of the game, right there, I guess around 3 or 4 minutes or so, y'all had made a couple runs. Looked like trying to run the clock out a little bit, still kind of deep in y'all's territory. Y'all go for a pass, it got intercepted. What did y'all see as a coaching staff there?
We underthrew a ball. Just underthrew it. It was there. We just underthrew it. It was 3rd and 5. We're trying to make a first down, win the game, get the ball out. Running was not really going great at that point in time. So, we threw a pass and they made a good play. We, wish we had it back, but our defense had our back. So.
Now y'all are going back to the Carolinas one more time.
Yeah.
Talk about that environment that's normally there in Tigerville.
Well, they always play well there. It's tough. It's about 10 hours from here. We're going to leave Friday morning and drive all day. It's just you got to do hard things better. If we're going to stay alive in this conference race, we got to go get it, and it's going to be tough. They're a really good team. We've always had good games with this bunch, and Coach Farrington and his staff do a great job. And it's going to be a challenge. It's a 1 Eastern kickoff, noon our time. So it's going to get on us pretty quick once we get there. We got to be ready to roll. From the time we get off the bus Friday night through the end of the game. We got to sign up for 60 minutes. We got to play them, and we got to prepare that way this week. And we got guys beat up and banged up, and I'm sure they do too. But they have been at home now for 3 straight weeks. So. We've been to West Florida, played West Alabama, and now we're going to turn around and go out there. So, but nobody feels sorry for us. We just got to do hard things better. And, our strength of schedule is really, really good. And this is another tough one on our schedule. And so we got to prepare for a dogfight, and hopefully we can play with these guys. I think we can. But they're a really good team.
Coming down the stretch now, Coach, do you treat these games somewhat like playoff games?
Yeah.
In terms of your mentality?
No doubt. We've been in playoff mode ever since West Florida beat us. Well, we know that. You got to tell our kids no. It's where we're at. We have to win, and that was a big one to get us back into it. Saturday afternoon, but that one's over with. That's the first thing we said this morning, man. Great win, proud of everybody. It's over with. Let's move on, and let's learn from it and see how we can get better. So, there was a lot of good plays in that game. There was a lot of good communication. There was some things done. Coach Fletcher did a great job trying to get our punt team because we were struggling there and guys injured and things like that. But we just found a way, and defensively, we got done what we had to get done, and I think it might help us in the long run because of that. That was one of those that we hung together and figured out a way to finish it, and that was a good thing.
In terms of 4th downs, Coach, your side of the field, what goes into that decision? Is it more about momentum? Is it more about, I feel like if we punt the ball, that they have the momentum, but what goes into the mind thought process in terms of going for the fourth down with your team?
Everything, field position, where we are in the game, momentum of the game. Do we feel like we're going to get it? We feel like we got a call that's going to get the first down. We probably go for more fourth downs than most teams do. If you look at me historically, I've gone for a lot of fourth downs here through the years, but we come out usually we've been on the better end of most of those. So, it's just the way we play. But we had one in the third quarter where it's 4th and 1. We're up 2 scores, minus, I think it was 40-yard line. That's not the time to go for it, in my opinion. Analytics might say different. We don't look into that. We look into what our team and what we've been practicing and the way the game's going and things like that. We went for one in the first half, didn't get it after the targeting call that was overturned. So anyway, that was overturned. We went for a fourth down. But that was kind of the deal where, all right, what do? Do you kick an extremely long field goal or do you punt? Well, if you punt, if it goes out of the end zone, you gain about 16 yards of field position or 18 yards of field position. So let's go for it. Felt good about the call, didn't get it. That's football. Just keep playing. But wish I had it back. I'd still gone for it. I might have just called something differently, But so that's a great question. But that's all those things go into it. There's no. I know they've got books on it, but I don't subscribe to those. I don't have those. So it's more just what we feel that week, and what we feel during that game.
Of course, against West Alabama, had a blocked one of their blocked their PAT attempt.
Mm-hmm.
They missed their field goal. Just talk about the effort on that side of the ball again.
I don't know what else you want me to tell you, man. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal effort all night long. That's a really good football team we just beat. So we're excited about that. So got a lot of respect for their program. They've done an outstanding job this season. They're going to continue to win, no doubt in my mind. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame that they don't get to play Valdosta this year. Because I think, they're two of the best teams in our league, and they deserve the right to play. But whatever, we can't control that. That's a shame. But yeah, man, I thought our effort was just what it had to be to beat that bunch. Now here's the question: can we go do it again? That's the question. Because you're gonna have to bring it again, and then we're gonna have to bring it again, and we're gonna have to bring it again after that. So can you just continuously do this? Or are you going to sit here and say, well, we just knocked off a really good team and everybody wants to pat us on our back, or are our players going to be smart enough to say, we ain't done anything yet. We got to turn around and do it again this week. That's the message here.
You kind of touched on this before, Coach, but just the idea of holding a team like West Alabama, just 6 points, how maybe surprisingly, perhaps grateful for your defense to do something like that, and did you sense that they were going to have that kind of game before it kicked off?
Yeah, I knew we were prepared. I knew we were prepared. I knew it was going to be a war, man. It always is with those guys. It's always a battle. It's always a really good game. You gotta be prepared. You gotta get your mind right. And I just think we had a really good week of practice, and I think that's the number one thing that we learned last week was, the preparation matters. It's like I told them, it's not about putting your headphones on before a game and listening to music and that's getting you prepared. It's about how much film did you watch on your own? How much of your keys do you know? How do you know what's coming before it comes? Have you seen that stuff enough to where you don't have to think on game day? That's preparing, But a guy think I'm getting my mind right by just listening to my music. That's not getting prepared. That's already you're behind. You're just hoping, So I got nothing wrong with guys listening to music before a game. I want you to understand that. But I think sometimes these young people think that's what preparing means, and it's not what it means. So we've had to define that. And to their credit, they did it. And they did it. Like I said, it was a rough week here last week, and it's going to be a rough week again this week. We're going to have to handle it. So anyway, we're excited about the opportunity that we have this Saturday in Tigerville, South Carolina, against a really good football team on the road. But it's another chance that we get to get better as a team, and another chance we get to take as we're trying to get ourselves back in this race. And that's what we're trying to do. Anything else? I really appreciate y'all. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Coach Cooley. Up next, our men's soccer program had 2 home battles with Alabama Huntsville Friday. They got a win on 2 goals late in the second half. They take a 2-1 victory. Yesterday against West Alabama was a shootout. They fell at home 4-2. So without further ado, let's bring up head coach Austin Jackman.
Thanks everyone for showing up today. Appreciate it. Good result Friday against Alabama Huntsville. Gave up a goal in the first 20 minutes, and we just kept plugging away. And I mean, it's been kind of a common theme with us this year is we just don't stop. And got 2 late goals, and ended up winning that game. And then yesterday, Prating kind of told you it was a shootout, like a lot of these Sunday games are after playing Friday. And started off really well, went up 1-0, and then kind of completely against the run of play, gave up a goal for it to go 1-1, and then a couple minutes after that went 2-1, and battled back to make it 3-2, and conceded super late to make it 4-2, and it was over at that point. So with all that being said, I'll open it for questions.
Talk about the physicality of both games. First against the Alabama Huntsville. I know in that second goal, both teams were kind of struggling. Looked like he got that one in. Just kind of talk about that, because it looked like there was a little bit of debating on whether he got in and didn't get in at that time.
Yeah, Friday was that is what this league is a lot of times. Super physical, lots of ball in the air a lot, lots of 50-50 challenges, and just proud of the guys. We didn't back down from that or shy away from it. So, that second goal, Liner said it crossed the line. My guys said it crossed the line as well. So it just took a while for them to confirm that. But that's the league. It's just super competitive. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day, and super physical as well. So.
And of course, against West Alabama, y'all made it 3-2. That goal that guy from West Alabama made, he probably doesn't make that again this year, does he?
Yeah, that's one that you're going to be telling your kids about 20 years from now. It was just a really good hit from him, and one of those where you just don't think about it. Your reactions just take over, and it was a good goal for them. So.
Of course, while I know you would have liked to have had Sunday go better, y'all were still able to get a win for 3 points on Friday. As we're getting further on into the season, I know the question was asked about ties and wins. How much more important are wins right now?
Extremely important. You look at the table, and I think 4 through 10 is separated by 4 points, which this late in the season is pretty crazy. But those 3 points Friday were massive. And kind of like you said, it would have been nice to get either a point or 3 yesterday. But I think the guys know how important this past weekend was, and how important this next weekend is on the road to Lee and Trevecca. I think they know, hey, it's business end of the season. We got to keep getting results. So
during this weekend, just as far as the overall effort, again, got those 2 goals late in the second half against Huntsville, and it was y'all cut it to 3-2. but just the overall effort of the guys, and also too, how is everybody? Because I know a lot of people were kind of, in some of those kicks and stuff, trying to play defense. I know there were a lot of people, collisions and stuff like that.
Yeah, overall, super proud of the effort. Effort wasn't the problem yesterday, and I told the group after that we just kind of lacked quality in crucial moments. Had chances to make the game 2-0, and it stayed at 1-0, and I mean that I've kind of told you that comes back to bite you at some point. But like I said, effort was phenomenal all weekend, and then it's just the time of year where a lot of guys are banged up for all teams that you're playing. So just kind of got to get through it, and we're kind of in the mindset of, hey, other guys need to step up, and a couple of guys did over the weekend. And they'll be asked to do the same this upcoming weekend. So
I noticed on Sunday, Alabama Huntsville upset Mississippi College. I know we talk about it all the time, but just talk about just the unpredictability of the college.
Anyone can beat anyone, and I mean we play Trevecca this upcoming Sunday, and they beat Lee on, I think, Saturday 1-0, and I think they went from 9th to 4th or 5th or something crazy like that. So, I mean, just the amount of spots you're jumping with 3 points. West Al went from 10 to, I think, 5 now after the win yesterday. So, I mean, it's like I said last week, it's a log jam, 4 through 10, and I mean these next 2 weeks are going to be huge for us.
Now, just talk about the 2 games y'all have this weekend.
Yeah, so got to go to Lee on Friday, get a night game for I think the second time this season. So boys should be up for that. It'll be a good opportunity. It's always a tough road trip going out there. 7 hours away on a bus is never fun, but we just got to get through it. We know what to expect with Lee, and then come Sunday, it's kind of a free for all, and crazy games happen just like you saw this past weekend. So just got to get through it and have a good performance Friday, and then figure it out on Saturday.
Right now on the schedule, y'all haven't won on the road, but how? I mean, just not just for conference standings, but how big would it be to just go on the road and at least get one of these games?
Yeah, it would be massive. We have struggled a bit on the road this year, so it would be really, really good Friday night to put in a really good performance and get 3 points.
In terms of just the week-to-week grind, this juncture of the season, is it more about the mental, tenacity it takes to finish it on a high note, more so than the physical part of it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. This time of year, I mean, I'll be honest with you, we train at the most for an hour and 15 minutes a day just to keep the guys fresh. They don't need to be they cover enough ground on Friday and Sunday that you don't need to beat them up during the week. And then, I mean, like you said, just keep them fresh mentally and physically. You just kind of got to get through it. Nobody's 100% at this point in the season, so you just got to kind of get through it and see how gritty we actually are.
And just in terms of like game planning for each game, what goes into that in terms of, is it more doing numbers as far as crunching? Because I don't know in terms of just scouting video, the availability for that in terms of soccer, but in terms of preparation, is it more or less you're looking at numbers, you're looking at stats, or do you have an opportunity to do some film watching as well?
We're watching a lot of film. I'm not a big stats guy. Stats aren't too big in soccer either. So we do a lot of film, and just kind of break down, hey, here's this team style of play. Here's some dangerous players while you're watching that style of play, and then off the ball, kind of, hey, here's how they set up, here's how they're going to defend in certain situations, in certain areas. But it's a lot of film. I got a good assistant who enjoys watching it a lot, so that takes a little bit off me, and can focus a little more on the man management, day-to-day type thing. But it's from both of us. We watch them 2-3 different matches throughout the year, and just kind of game plan based off that. Playing Friday, Sunday, we only really have one day to train, so that's usually on a Wednesday. So Wednesday is kind of the bulk of the information on, hey, here's how this group plays, here's how we want to play, and go about that. So it's a really good question. That's it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Coach Jackman. Fortunately, Coach Kane could not make it to the press conference today. She had a personal thing to take care of. Other than that, they also won. They had tied on Friday. They got 4 points this weekend with a tie on Friday and a win yesterday. So this week is everybody's on the road. Everybody's on the road. Soccer at Lee and Trevecca, both men and women, on Friday and Sunday. Fridays in the evening, Sundays in the afternoon. Football hits the road Saturday at North Greenville. And women's cross country will finish up it'll start the postseason at the Gulf South Conference Championship down in Clinton. It's not in Valdosta this year. They moved it to Clinton due to the Hurricane Helene in Valdosta. Other than that, men's golf also on the road today at Cameron in Oklahoma. So hope you guys all have a great week, and thank you guys for coming. As always, go Statesman.